Update with Sasha Martinengo.
And of course, our Formula One update is brought to you by Pirelli and Wheel Tyre. Between now and the 13th of September, you stand a chance to win a thrilling trip for two to the 2014 Formula One United States Grand Prix. So if the thought of being in the stands at the circuit in Austin, Texas, gets your adrenaline pumping, get down to your nearest Wheel and Tyre store or go to twt.to for more details on how to enter. It's a motorsport fan's dream come true. So what are you waiting for? Terms and conditions apply. The big story, of course, this week, it is the German Grand Prix in Hockenheim, and everyone's still talking about Frick. Yes, it's still there, the whole Frick sort situation at the moment, which is the front and rear interconnected suspension system. Now, this will be banned from 2015. I can tell you that now. But there is not a unanimous decision amongst all of the teams for them to continue using the Frick system going forward. Amazingly, the big teams, for example, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams, all sit there and say, hey, we got no issue with using the Frick system. It's not a big deal. We'll abide by the rules if you decide that we need to get rid of them in 2015. No problem whatsoever. So whether or not it's going to be banned or not this weekend at the German Grand Prix is still open to decision. It does, however, unfortunately allow for other teams now to protest if, for example, they get beaten by their nearest rival. So we'll have to wait to see what happens this week. Fernando Alonso has been in Maranello, and believe me, it wasn't there just to go and drive a simulator. More than likely, he was called in by Marco Mattiacci as well as Luca de Montezemolo to perhaps consider extending his Ferrari contract. Fernando Alonso has quietly came out and basically said, I'm focused on the current state of Ferrari, not the future. So I think that's got a couple of the Ferrari directors a little bit nervous, that's for sure. There's a big chance that Adrian Sutil might lose his place to Guido van der Garde at Sauber. There's a couple of reasons for this. Sutil, unfortunately, has had a tough time in that Sauber car, purely because that Sauber car is most probably one of the heaviest on the grid, and Adrian Sutil is most probably the heaviest driver on the grid, and we are all looking for slimmer, leaner, lighter cars. So that's the one problem. The other problem is Guido van der Garde comes with a gazillion amounts of money. And that, if they put him in the race seat, all of a sudden that money gets released, which allows Sauber then to progress going forward. Don't forget, Sauber have yet to score a point so far this season. And if you look how they were last season, it's a disaster for them. Also, Kimi Räikkönen came out the last couple of days, said, well, maybe at the end of his Ferrari contract 2015, he might retire from the sport. Not so clever, Mr. Räikkönen. Just because things aren't going your way at the moment doesn't mean you should start now telling people you want to retire, because then it also just allows people to sit there and say, well, he's got no interest, might as well get rid of him now. So I don't think the cleverest little bit of PR that came out of Kimi Räikkönen over the last couple of days. And finally, just looking at 4 times world champion Sebastian Vettel, he's conceded that his German Grand Prix result was not really in his hands. Unfortunately, things went wrong for him, but he is not giving up. He's always enjoys the atmosphere at the Hockenheim ring and says, well, you know what, the championship is very difficult to defend, but one cannot just give up. There we go. That's a look at the world of Formula One. And as always, the Formula One report is brought to you by Pirelli and Wheel and Tyre. Between now and the 13th of September, you stand a chance to win a thrilling trip for two to the 2014 F1 United States Grand Prix. So if the thought of being in the stands at the Circuit of Americas in Austin, Texas gets your adrenaline pumping, get down to your nearest Wheel and Tyre store now or go to twt.to. There are more details there for how you can enter. It's a motorsport fan's dream come true. So what are you waiting for? Terms and conditions apply.
The F1 Update with Sasha Martinengo.